So let's think about this. What if unlocking wealth, or really any big personal achievement, isn't just about working harder? What if it's actually a deeply psychological thing, a strategic journey?
That's precisely the idea we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into Napoleon Hill's principles.
Yeah, specifically from the Think and Grow Rich workbook, but we're also going to look at the history of the original book, right? Because that's got its own story.
Absolutely. So our sources for this deep dive, we've got excerpts from the workbook PDF via Bookie, and also the Wikipedia entry on the original Think and Grow Rich. And our mission really is to pull out the most important bits, the actionable stuff.
Right. How do you actually use these ideas to turn desire into reality?
And explore the background, the history, the context around this super influential work.
Think of it as your shortcut. You get the key insights without wading through everything yourself.
Exactly. We want to help you understand what really matters here, give you clear takeaways you can apply to your goals.
Without getting bogged down. Sound good? Let's dive in.
Okay, so the workbook kicks off with this foundational idea, the definite chief aim, your DCA.
Right, the DCA. What exactly is that, and why does he put it right at the start? It feels fundamental.
It absolutely is. The workbook calls it the starting point of all achievements. It's like setting a destination before you sail. Without that clear objective, any effort is just, well, directionless.
Yeah.
Aimless.
Like a ship without a rudder, just drifting. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do you actually, define that aim? Can you give us a solid example, not just be rich?
That's a really important question. It takes real introspection and decisiveness, too. You have to figure out what you truly want. Think about your values, your passions, what really drives you. And yes, specificity is key. So instead of be wealthy, maybe it's accumulate a net worth of $1 million within 5 years through XYZ income streams.
Okay, much clearer. Or like for health.
Right. Not just get fit, but maybe lose 20 pounds in 6 months through like a balanced diet and exercising 3 times a week. Specifics matter.
Got it. So once you've sort of wrestled with that and landed on something specific, how do you cement it, make it real in your mind?
Well, articulating it clearly is the next step. And writing it down. That seems simple, but it makes it tangible. It solidifies the intention, acts as a constant reminder. The workbook suggests framing it positively and in the present tense.
Present tense, like it's already happening.
Exactly. Like I am earning $250,000 annually from my successful consulting firm. It helps build the belief, it becomes that compass guiding all your decisions, helping you prioritize, stay focused.
Are there any practical exercises in the workbook for this, for our listeners to try?
Yeah, definitely. 2 good ones are the goal visualization technique, really vividly imagining your life after achieving the goal. Feelings, surroundings, everything.
Okay, immersing yourself in it.
And goal statement writing, where you write down why this goal is so crucial for you, your deep reasons. And crucially, reviewing and maybe even tweaking your DCA regularly. Life changes, right? So your aim might need adjustment.
Okay, so you have your clear aim, your North Star. What fuels the journey? This is where Hill talks about desire, the intense desire.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. Desire, in Hill's view, isn't just wishing, it's the bedrock. He calls it a burning, pulsating drive. That's what actually transforms a dream into something real.
A burning drive. Sounds intense.
It is. He argues genuine desire is the starting point of all riches and success. It's the emotional engine. Without it, the aim just sits there.
So how do you cultivate that level of fire and keep it burning, especially when things get tough?
Good question. The workbook offers techniques like constant reaffirmation, repeating your goals. And visualization, again, one really powerful method mentioned is the awakening of sensory imagery.
Sensory imagery, what's that involve?
It means engaging all your senses, creating a super detailed, vivid mental picture of your goal achieved. What does it look like, sound like, feel like?
Making it feel real on every level.
Exactly. But what if you have multiple desires? That's something people often struggle with, right? Spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah, how do you avoid diluting that intensity?
This raises a really important point. Prioritization is absolutely crucial. You can't have 5 burning desires demanding all your focus. The workbook actually has worksheets for this. List your desires, clarify them, and then figure out which one is the most critical right now.
Focus the fire, basically.
Precisely. And there's an exercise called the desire statement, writing down that primary goal clearly, positively, and revisiting it constantly, refining it.
Okay, so desire is the fuel. How does that translate into actually doing things?
Well, desire alone won't get you there, obviously. It needs to be channeled into productive action. The workbook provides tools for breaking down those big, maybe overwhelming goals into smaller, manageable steps. Daily tasks, weekly plans.
Making the path tangible, step
Yeah,
by step.
exactly. So it doesn't feel so insurmountable.
All right, so we have the aim, the intense desire, but then reality hits. Setbacks happen. What keeps you going? This sounds like where faith comes in.
You got it. What's fascinating here is how Hill positions faith. It's the cornerstone. It's what drives persistence, resilience, motivation when things get hard. It's presented as this unshakable belief in your own ability and in reaching your ultimate goal.
How do you build that kind of faith, though, especially when doubt creeps in? Is it just telling yourself, be positive?
It's definitely more active than just positive thinking. It's about cultivating a specific mindset through mental techniques. Visualization is key. Again, vividly imagining yourself succeeding, overcoming challenges. By creating these detailed mental rehearsals, your mind starts accepting them as possible, even inevitable.
So you're kind of pre-programming success into your subconscious.
In a way, yes, and affirmations play a big role too.
Right, affirmations. Tell us more about how they work in this context.
They're positive statements you repeat daily. Things like, I am capable of achieving my goals and I will see them through. The idea is to consciously reinforce belief and counteract those negative thoughts or doubts that inevitably pop up.
So you write them down tailored to your specific goals.
Exactly. The workbook suggests crafting affirmations that reflect the successful completion of your goals. Repeating them consistently helps embed that belief.
Does the original book give examples, like real people demonstrating this kind of faith?
Oh, absolutely. The power of faith is illustrated through stories. Henry Ford is a classic example Hill uses. Ford faced huge setbacks, tons of skepticism, but he held this unwavering belief in his vision for mass-produced cars. And, well, we know how that turned out.
Revolutionized industry, yeah. That's powerful.
It shows how that steadfast belief can fuel action despite enormous obstacles.
Okay, this next one, auto-suggestion, sometimes sounds a bit out there. What exactly is it, and how does it supposedly influence success?
Yeah, it can sound a bit mystical, but what's fascinating here is the underlying idea. Your subconscious mind basically absorbs what it's fed repeatedly, good or bad. Autosuggestion is just a technique of consciously feeding it constructive, positive ideas. You're essentially programming your subconscious to align with your goals.
Programming your subconscious, okay. How do you do that practically? Is there a method?
Yes, it involves a structured routine. Repetition and visualization are key components. First step, as always, is clarity. Define and write down your goals. Then, turn those goals into positive, present tense affirmations.
Like the I am successful example from before.
Exactly. I am a successful entrepreneur. I am achieving financial independence, things like that.
And when's the best time to do this repetition?
The suggestion is several times daily, especially during quiet moments. Right before sleep and just after waking up are considered prime times. That's supposedly when the subconscious is most receptive, less guarded by the conscious mind.
Okay, morning and night. Makes sense.
And combining this repetition with vivid mental visualization, really seeing and feeling the goal as achieved, makes it much stronger. It makes the goal feel more tangible.
Are there other things you can do to support this?
Yeah, things like meditation or mindfulness can help quiet the conscious mind, making it easier to impress ideas onto the subconscious. Also, simple reminders, like writing affirmations on index cards and keeping them visible. Consistency is absolutely vital, though. It's an ongoing process.
Right, not a one-time fix. Constant conditioning.
Precisely.
Okay, we've talked a lot about mindset, aim, desire, faith, influencing the subconscious. What about the more tangible stuff? Knowledge, creativity.
Great point. If we connect this to the bigger picture, specialized knowledge and imagination are presented as the dual engines driving success forward. They turn mindset into action. Hill emphasizes that general knowledge, knowing a little about a lot, isn't enough. You need specialized knowledge.
Specialized how?
Practical knowledge directly relevant to your definite chief aim, stuff you can actually use. You can get this through focused self-study, courses, mentorships, whatever gets you the specific expertise you need.
Does the workbook offer any warnings here, like pitfalls to avoid?
Yes, definitely. It warns against the trap of endless learning without application. Just collecting knowledge isn't the goal.
So you have to actually use it. Knowledge hoarding doesn't help.
Exactly. It only has value when put into practice towards your aim.
Okay, makes sense. And how does imagination fit in? That feels a bit different from acquiring knowledge.
Imagination is described as the workshop where all plans are fashioned. It's where you create the blueprint for success. Hill talks about two types. There's Synthetic imagination?
Synthetic.
Yeah, that's basically rearranging existing ideas, concepts, or plans into new combinations, building on what's already known.
Okay, like combining different strategies you've learned.
Right. And then there's creative imagination. This is more about intuition, hunches, flashes of inspiration. He'll believe this connects us to uh, infinite intelligence. It's where truly novel ideas come from.
Interesting distinction. Are there exercises in the workbook to boost this creative thinking?
Yeah, it encourages things like regular brainstorming, just getting ideas out there, free writing, mind mapping too, and something called idea sprints, where the focus is on quantity over quality initially, just generating possibilities.
Get the juices flowing.
Exactly. Also, using tools like a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, can force you to look at your situation creatively and find new approaches.
And didn't Hill also talk about mastermind groups?
Yes, absolutely. He strongly advocated for the power of a mastermind group, surrounding yourself with smart, supportive people. The collective intelligence and different perspectives can spark incredible creativity and problem solving.
Okay, so we've got the aim, the desire, the faith, the program, subconscious, specialized knowledge, creative ideas. That's a lot. How do we make sure all these brilliant plans don't just fizzle out? How do we execute?
That's where organized planning becomes absolutely pivotal. It's the bridge between ideas and actual results. Without a plan, even the best intentions can flounder, as the source material puts it. Planning turns abstract goals into concrete, executable steps.
So breaking it down.
Precisely. Breaking down your big, definite chief aim into smaller, manageable chunks. Yearly goals, monthly milestones, weekly targets, even daily tasks. It creates a clear roadmap.
Makes the whole thing less overwhelming, I guess.
For sure. And it gives you a sense of progress along the way.
What about techniques for planning effectively, beyond just making a to-do list?
Well, effective time management and prioritization are crucial within that plan. You need to focus on the right tasks. Hill suggests methods. Maybe things analogous to the Eisenhower matrix, figuring out what's urgent versus important, or the ABCDE method for ranking task priority.
Right, focus on the high-impact stuff.
Exactly. And the workbook encourages using tools, planners, calendars, digital apps, whatever works for you, to list tasks, set deadlines, and track your progress. This builds accountability.
But what happens when things go wrong? Plans rarely survive contact with reality perfectly, right?
That's a key point. Flexibility and adaptability are heavily emphasized. Plans aren't meant to be rigid concrete. Unexpected stuff will happen, challenges, new opportunities. Being able to pivot, reassess your plan, and adjust course is vital for sustained progress.
So the plan is a guide, not a straitjacket.
Exactly. It ensures setbacks are just temporary hurdles, not derailments.
Okay, this next principle feels like it underpins everything else. Persistence. Why is just sticking with it so critical?
Persistence is often highlighted as the distinguishing factor, the thing that separates those who achieve their big goals from those who give up just short. It's about consistent effort over time, pushing forward regardless of obstacles, failures, bad days, discouraging comments, all of it.
And that includes internal battles too, right? Like self-doubt.
Or absolutely. External challenges like money problems or market changes are tough, but often the internal battles, doubt, fear, procrastination, are even harder to overcome consistently. Persistence addresses both.
So how do you build that kind of staying power? How do you cultivate persistence when everything in you wants to quit?
That brings up a crucial point. It really starts with having that deep understanding of your why, your core motivations tied to your definite chief aim. And setting clear, achievable milestones helps too. The workbook suggests things like regular self-reflection to check in with your commitment, and importantly, celebrating small wins along the way. That keeps morale up.
Fueling the engine bit by bit.
Exactly. And building a resilient mindset is key. Learning to adapt to hardship, maintain a positive outlook even when things suck, and seeing failures as learning opportunities, not dead ends.
Can you give us another powerful example of persistence from the book, like the Ford one earlier?
Sure. Thomas Edison is another classic example often cited. Thousands of failed experiments before hitting on the right filament for the light bulb.
Right, the I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work story.
Exactly that spirit. Or Colonel Sanders, founder of KFC, he faced, hundreds of rejections for his chicken recipe before someone finally took a chance on it, late in life, too.
Wow. Yeah, those stories really drive home the point that success often demands weathering a lot of failure first.
They really do. And the workbook also emphasizes supportive habits like breaking tasks down so they don't feel overwhelming, having regular goal review sessions, and managing stress. Burnout is the enemy of persistence. You need sustainable effort.
Okay, so we've walked through all these core principles. How does the workbook kind of wrap things up, pull it all together for someone ready to start?
Well, the final part really synthesizes everything we've talked about. It emphasizes that these principles aren't isolated tricks. They work together, synergistically. You need the definite chief, aim is your target, desire is the fuel, faith is the engine oil, auto-suggestion tuning the engine, knowledge and imagination as the map and vehicle design, planning as the route, and persistence as the driver who refuses to stop.
Nice analogy. So it's a whole system.
Exactly. A holistic approach to achievement.
And how does it guide you to actually, implement this system?
It strongly encourages creating your own personalized long-term action plan. Specific goals, realistic timelines, broken down into those manageable steps we discussed. And it stresses accountability. Find a mentor, get an accountability partner, maybe even form or join one of those mastermind groups Hill was so keen on.
Having others involved keeps you on track.
Definitely. Support, guidance, constructive feedback. It can make a huge difference. And the final message is really one of encouragement, but also realism. Stay committed, yes, but be prepared to adapt. The path is rarely straight. It demands flexibility, resilience, and crucially, that willingness to learn from mistakes and setbacks. Keep refining your approach.
That's a great overview of the workbook's philosophy. Powerful stuff. But now, let's shift gears slightly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the history of the original Think and Grow Rich book itself is, well, it's pretty fascinating and maybe a bit controversial. Let's look at some details from the Wikipedia entry.
Right. The original book came out in 1937, smack bang in the middle of the Great Depression, which is interesting context itself. And it was authored by Napoleon Hill, but also his third wife, Rosalie Beeland, apparently contributed significantly to the writing and editing.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that about his wife's involvement.
Yeah, and apparently the royalties were even put in her name. The Wikipedia entries suggest this might have been to protect the money from claims by Hill's second wife and her children. So, some drama there already.
Huh. Okay. Now, what about the Andrew Carnegie connection? Hill always claimed Carnegie was this huge inspiration, the source of the whole philosophy, right?
He did. He claimed he had this pivotal, lengthy interview with Carnegie back in 1908, where Carnegie supposedly challenged him to distill the secrets of success.
But is there evidence for that meeting?
Well, this raises an important question about historical accuracy. According to Carnegie's biographer, David Nasaw, and this is cited in the Wikipedia article, there's actually no evidence of any sort that Carnegie and Hill ever met.
No evidence at all.
Apparently not. And what's more, the article points out that in 1908, Hill was reportedly, well, on the run from the authorities for committing lumber fraud.
Oh, that complicates the narrative quite a bit.
It does. And Hill apparently didn't even start claiming he'd met Carnegie until after Carnegie died in 1918.
So the timeline doesn't quite add up for that foundational story.
Based on that source, it seems questionable. Similarly, the Wikipedia entry notes there aren't known records of Hill meeting many of the other famous magnates he claimed to have interviewed for the book, apart from a documented brief meeting with Thomas Edison.
Wow. So it's this incredibly influential philosophy, sold millions, changed lives, but the origin story might be more constructed than originally presented.
That seems to be what the historical investigation suggests, yeah.
Yeah.
A very powerful message, with a potentially complex, maybe even embellished backstory.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. We've taken this deep dive into the Think and Grow Rich workbook. We've unpacked the core principles, that definite chief aim, the burning desire, the unwavering faith using autosuggestion, the need for specialized knowledge and imagination, organized planning, and that crucial element of persistence.
And we've seen how they're meant to work together as a system to turn goals into reality. Plus, we've touched on the interesting and somewhat contested history behind the original book.
So for you listening, remember this knowledge is really most valuable when you think about how to apply it.
Yeah, think beyond just wealth. How can these principles help you achieve any significant goal in your career, your health, your personal life?
So what's the big takeaway here? What really stands out to you after diving into this, maybe? If these principles work for people, regardless of the creator's potentially flawed backstory, what does that say about the power of the ideas themselves? Can an idea transcend its origin?
That's a great question to ponder. Or perhaps think about your own definite chief aim. How might it evolve? Not just from what you desire initially, but maybe shaped by the very challenges you face trying to achieve it. The journey changing the destination, in a way.
Lots to think about there. Keep exploring these ideas, keep learning, and see how you can apply these insights on your own path.